Who's calling that? Who's calling that shit? Who's calling that shit? Who's calling that shit? Who? Hey.
Welcome to Soul Talk podcast, and today I'm here with Sayf. Sayf, could you just pronounce your full name? Because I wasn't sure how to pronounce your surname actually.
Sayf Taj.
Yeah, oh, right, okay.
Name. So I always have to say to people, opposite to dangerous, but spelled Sayf, because no one believes that it's my name. Honestly, Sayf, I'm like, yes, and I have to give that explanation after. And my last name, it's whatever your accent is. Taj, I say Taj because of my accent. But
right, okay.
I'll leave that up to whatever you want to say.
So we've had a full-on chat, I always do with guests, just get to know each other. So it feels really nice actually, because we only just met today.
I know, yeah.
And it feels like we know so much more about each other actually now.
You're amazing. Already,
yeah. As are you. And it's been really inspiring to listen to your journey up to where you are now and how you've become the person that you are. So I think first I just want to ask, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Let's go right back to childhood. Tell us about your upbringing, the sort of things that you learned along the way. Let's start there. Yeah.
Wow, where do I begin, honestly? So I was born and raised in East Lancashire, born in Blackburn because, nearest maternity unit, and then raised here in Accrington. I am mixed, so on my mum's side, Arab, Jordanian in particular, and Italian, and dad's side Pakistani. So there's such an amazing mix, and I love it. It's so unique. And I was raised by my nana. She is my queen. She raised me, and yeah.
Shout out Sayf's nana.
Shout out to
amazing things about you.
Shout out to my nana. I'm always talking highly of her. She is fantastic, and yeah, I've always been unconventional. I've always wanted more for myself. I struggled in my environment here in Accrington. I always knew that if I wanted to prosper and if I wanted to succeed for myself and my own journey, I had to move away. I had to get out and find myself. So let's go in chronological order here. I love chronological order. So I was raised here in Accrington, and I faced many struggles as a child. So when I was 7 years old, I was diagnosed with autism, and I remember trying to navigate this world as someone that is neurodivergent, someone that was neurodivergent at the time. It was really hard. I struggled socially. There were so many things that I battled with, and then on top of that, my gender expression was unconventional to how a boy would act or what a boy would take interest in. For example, I loved cars, but then I also thought, why can't I like dolls as well? Why can't I love the colour pink? Why couldn't I love it all? So these rigid binaries in terms of what a boy should be and what a girl should be, I struggled with that because I just thought, why can't I love it all?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Why has it just got to be that way and anything else?
So that was a struggle I faced with. So I had to really navigate through that. In school I did struggle because I was different. Of course I stood out like a sore thumb. But then in high school in particular, towards the end of it, I really learned how to adapt, how to conform, how to make friends, how to be social, which was a blessing, but then also was a curse in terms of me suppressing myself and me not being my true self because of all that trauma. I used to think, right, you need to conform, you need to act in a way that doesn't bring too much attention to yourself. You just need to protect yourself here. And let's rewind back to high school now. So I gained an interest in fashion in year 9 when I was 13. I used to love going shopping with my nana. I used to be so inspired. That was my escapism. Because, I come come from a deprived town, it's very grey, it's not inspiring. You seek escapism, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to find yourself, and art and fashion was my
Yeah,
was
and I
my
think when you
escapism.
feel like there's something more as well, yeah.
Definitely. So that's when I gained an interest in it, and then I was like, I want to pick it as a subject for GCSE, fashion and textiles, and I did exactly that. But I used to suppress telling people when people would ask me what options are you taking for year 10 and year 11. I'd like divert the conversation.
Sort of list everything, but
yeah.
And
I was just so ashamed, and I was just so scared. Of course, like people in my class knew. Obviously, I couldn't hide it from them, but it was just the wider, you know, how do I describe it? To everyone else.
Yeah.
I just wanted to protect myself, and then I remember getting anxiety over it, but I'm proud for choosing it. I could have not chose it, but I did choose it.
Yeah.
And I remember back to those times feeling anxious, feeling suppressed, and I'm about you know, not being open and vocal about doing fashion and textiles. I'm like, wow, was that really me? Sometimes I want to go back to 15-year-old Sayf in year 11 and just give him a hug and just tell him, your life is going to be amazing. Enjoy the ride. You are strong. And I'm so proud of the person I've become today. I really have, you know, throughout all these obstacles. I'm proud, and I'm proud of younger Sayf, for
because he took that first step into doing what you truly wanted to do. So you sort of like owe it to that 15-year-old Sayf for making that first step, because that's led on to many other brave steps then of you becoming your own and doing what you actually want to do. And we said this earlier in our culture that we really sometimes struggle to make decisions for ourselves because we're taught such a different way. And like you said, it's like only being able to do things and like things that our boy would like. And sometimes we get that within our culture as well, is that we're only supposed to like the things people in our culture would typically like. But forgetting that we're a person as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, we were born in like a certain culture, we might have been born with a particular gender, but we're still like us. What do we actually want? So yeah, that's so beautiful that you actually made that decision for yourself. So we're sort of going through, you know, when you were diagnosed with autism and making your decisions coming into fashion. I also did textiles.
Oh yeah, shout out, go to you.
So creative as well. I feel like we share the same love for that sort of thing in fashion.
We are meant to be best mates. We are actually meant to be best mates.
Yeah. Just as like, by the way, what did you make for your final project?
Oh God, I made quite a few things.
Yeah.
Like a jacket.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was clothes mainly.
That's really cool, because a lot of people didn't do that. A lot of people made more sort of like household sort of like items, but I made like a Latin dance dress.
Oh my God, go you.
It was difficult. But that's so cool that you made clothing and stuff as well. Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't clothing.
No.
I was so interested,
Because I know a lot of people just made like blankets or pillows and stuff like that, so I'm always curious to see what people did. So moving from high school now, and I think navigating your way through like coming into your own, what challenges did you then face? Did you go to college then after school?
Yeah, well, I stayed on at sixth form.
Oh, right, so you stayed in the same sort of environment.
Yes,
right,
I stayed on at sixth form, and I did it at A level too.
Oh, wow, okay.
You'd think, oh, was he traumatised by it or not? No, I still wanted to pursue it. I knew that's where my passions were.
Yeah.
So, went into sixth form, still I wasn't my true self then. So, I feel like as humans, we're all on our own journey of self-discovery. So I was dealing with my gender expression, my sexuality, and also figuring out my existence, questioning my existence.
Yeah.
So it's that time, 16, 17, 18, you know, before you get into adulthood. You're finding yourself, aren't you? So I'm still in Accrington. I'm still questioning all these things about me, still struggling with myself, you know. Is this who I want to be? Am I dressing how I want? But I was always known at school, especially sixth form, as the stylish one, someone that I wasn't as expressive as I was today, but people knew that I've always liked to take pride in my appearance and, you know, present the best that I can be. And sometimes I get a bit conscious thinking, am I presenting myself the best that I can? I think I get that from my nana. You know, we just, you know, we always want to look our best. And that's not in a vain way. It's in a self-confidence way. I want to feel my best and I want to empower other people too. It's not, oh, I look better than you. It's about, I want everyone to feel great around me. I hate it when my friends are insecure. I'm always there empowering them, or the voice message or whatever.
Do you feel like that's sort of your role in life? Is that what you aim to be and do?
Absolutely. I think from my trauma, I've had to learn to become optimistic. So me being optimistic that's what has drove me to the place where I am today. That gave me the drive, because if I was pessimistic, I probably wouldn't have pursued my passions. I would have lived a conformative, if that's the right word. I would have conformed, I would have lived a conventional life where I just would have been unhappy. But I said to myself, right, Sayf, you're going to fight through, you're going to achieve the best that you can. And I did that. So, of course, I had to really fight through. And then I did, after sixth form, I did a foundation diploma in art and design at Blackburn College. That was like a year before uni. And each year, I grew, how do I word this? I always became a better version. I became a better version of myself. And even to this day, every year, I think, you know, growing up, it's an amazing thing. You learn so much about yourself. And when I did the foundation diploma in art and design, I met more like-minded people like me, people that were my vibe. And it was such an amazing year. And that's when I was an adult. And in that year of adulthood, there were a lot of changes. So that's when I discovered my sexuality when I was 18. So prior to all this, because of my gender expression, sometimes gender expression and sexuality can link. You know, being a feminine guy, of course you're pushed into the gay box. But I didn't know that about myself until I was 18. So I hated the topic of sexuality before that moment, before I knew, because everyone just put me in the box. But then I was like, am I not?
You haven't decided that for yourself yet,
So I'd always, be like, no. But then you could tell people would ridicule that. But I'm so glad in that year, when I was 18 in my foundation diploma, I remember things so vividly too. That's why I'm describing it like this.
Once it gets to my age, it starts going that. I can't really remember anything anymore.
So that's when I was like, oh, okay, I've discovered that part of myself. And it felt like a relief. It felt like such a relief. I'm like, oh God, this is who I am.
Oh, so do you think actually you were carrying sort of like a bit of a weight and burden, not knowing what the answer to that question were about your sexuality?
Potentially, but it wasn't a shock. I didn't, people could joke about it. Oh my God, you're gay, really? So I didn't have a coming out story, because people are like, really? And I can laugh and joke about that now. But everyone around me was supportive, and I think it was more like, oh, we're not shocked, so whatever, really.
So the support was already sort of in place in there. It was just a case of people waiting for you to decide that for yourself.
I mean, everyone else made the judgments, didn't they? So that was a what's the word now? It was revolutionary. Revolutionary, whatever you want to call it. So that was when I was 18. I got my qualification, and then that's when I moved to Manchester. So I was like, right, there's nothing for me in Accrington. The only way I can get out now, doing what I love, is if I go to uni. So I went to Manchester Met, specifically the School of Art. So I moved out when I was 19. I didn't know how to work a washing machine. I wasn't domesticated at all.
All the perks of being a student.
Yeah, I was thrown into the deep end. And it was an amazing 3 years. I learned a lot of life experience. I grew a lot as a person. and I did fashion art direction. So that was the visual side of fashion. So after doing fashion and textiles, I knew I wasn't hands-on with the sewing machine or anything like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to do styling, I wanted to do photography, graphic design. And I did exactly that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I remember my final project, it was about the representation of queer South Asian people.
Love that.
So I wanted to inspire other people.
Yeah.
And that was so amazing. I met people out there that were like me, and just knowing that there's a community out there is fantastic. And you know, I always want to support and empower people. And yeah, so I graduated in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I feel like, just listening to your journey and obviously the discussion we had before this podcast as well, is you have sort of succeeded and found more of yourself because you've put yourself in spaces and around people and environments that were a step towards more of what you wanted to be. And I think that's really important as a message to send out to other people, is that what you want to become, it's really important that you surround yourself with that.
Absolutely.
So for example, you know, wanting to do fashion and art, it wouldn't have made sense for you to force yourself into a career that was the opposite of that just for the sake of it. It's really important that you surround yourself with those sort of people, because they sort of give you that encouragement and bravery and sort of like, you know, and I think sometimes culturally people classify certain things as normal, and you know, that's all dependent on their own experience and perspective, but it sort of like normalise it for you then, where you could be more fearless in making those decisions, you know. And you can see that clearly as you've come into your own. You've made those decisions with less and less fear, because you've been in the right spaces to help you build into that person, and so you let go of that like old version of yourself over time, you know.
Absolutely, I've got a lot to say on this. So even now I've realised that the people that you surround yourself with have a huge impact on your mental and physical health. And luckily, you know, throughout my journey, I am so blessed for my friends and all the amazing people that had support me when I was feeling low, when I was feeling confused, when I was feeling depressed, all these negative emotions. My friends were amazing, so supportive. Shout out to all of them. Like they really helped me navigate life, and even to this day, I still need support. I'm always voice messaging my friends if I've got you know, an issue. You know,
voice messages. What we've done without voice messages, I feel like I voice note everybody now, because it's so much better than texting out a long message.
Honestly, I don't have the energy. Or when I'm walking and trying to type, I'm like, no, I'm going to face plant the floor.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's important because you want to surround yourself with people that are supportive of you, and we have to accept that there are going to be people that don't understand you, people that aren't going to support you. Please don't, if you can, in your power, try not to associate yourself with those people. I know it can be difficult. Say if you're living at home with your family and you only rely on them, it is a bit difficult. It is circumstantial. I do get that. Not everyone has that privilege, but I think it should drive you to believe that there are amazing people out there that will support you, and please never feel isolated. And we were talking about this, how social media is a blessing and a curse.
Because we were actually, it came up because Sayf had asked when I had left school, which obviously I think there's like an 8-year gap between us, and we were talking about how, you know, so I was brought up in an environment where I don't even think, you know, we didn't have any social media. I think there was MSN.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what that is?
I had it as an early teen,
Oh, did you? Yeah, so we had MSN, and that was sort of like, it sort of felt like you were texting your friends, but you felt a bit cooler because you were on your laptop and it was just different to your phone. And we had, the best thing on our phones was probably playing the Snake game. Like, we didn't have a camera on the phone. Like, that's where, you know, I was sort of brought up in school. So then we were talking about how social media came into your generation and the difference in impact, but you actually had a generation where as children you didn't have social media.
Correct.
And then as you've come into high school, this is where social media's come in. So talk to us about that, because it's quite impacting on your life, and in many different ways, neither negative or positive, all different ways. It
really is. So I'm old Gen Z. I'm 1997, so the start of Gen Z is 1997. And so as a child, we didn't have social media. until we were teenagers. So I remember seeing the transition from Blackberries to iPhone. So in year 9, when I was 13, like 2011, 2012, I saw people switch from the Blackberries to iPhones. I never had a Blackberry, so I never had BBM.
I did.
Did you have BBM?
You know, I always thought the buttons were so like small, but it was crazy how fast you got used to it actually. But I had a Blackberry for a small amount of time.
Yeah, so I never had one. I just had an iPhone 3GS. I had an iPhone 3GS throughout school, more or less. Then I got the 5S, which had a front camera on. I didn't have a front camera on the 3GS. I don't know how I coped about that, especially now. I got my 5S when I was 16, I believe. So
wow, I've never owned an iPhone.
Never
once. I'm such a Samsung girl. I swear by Samsungs. I don't care what anyone says. My students laugh at me about this all the time. But I generally think Samsungs have the better camera. Don't come for me.
Good job, I love you.
But yeah, I've never had an iPhone. I've never had an iPhone. Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw that transition. I didn't get Instagram until 2013, but Instagram is nowhere near it's nowhere near
what it is now.
What it is now, do you know what I mean?
So I think it's probably the most developed platform there's been when you look at how it started to where it is now. And it's the new things have introduced, like Reels and stuff. Like, where would we be without Reels now? Like, literally, we more or less all run our businesses and work
on social
through
media.
Reels and social media, yeah.
Definitely. So social media, for me, I was exposed to it as a teenager, and you know, it's developed so much, and it can be a blessing and a curse. So let's look at it from the perspective as a curse. If you're in a bad mental health, if you've got bad mental health, if you're in a poor state of mind and you're feeling bad about your life, it's so easy to compare yourself.
Yeah.
We have everything, we've got such easy access to
everything. Yeah, that's it,
and, you know, we can get sucked into that, but then remember, we're only watching people's highlights, and it doesn't mean that you can't achieve the best that you can achieve. So that's the curse, but then the blessing is, say, if you are of a certain identity, if you are a gay person with, I don't know, a feminine gender expression, and you live in a small town, no one is like you, you can find all of these people on social media that are of a similar identity to you, that are thriving, that are doing amazing things with their lives. I follow people that with a similar identity to me, and I love seeing them thrive. And so it makes my heart melt, honestly. And I think especially when you felt suppressed for so long, and you think, oh no, you can't do that.
You felt alone as well. It's so nice to know that you're not on your own, and that there is a community out there. Like, how amazing.
Definitely. And this is it. It's a blessing and a curse, but if it's used right, it can revolutionise your life for the better.
So do you feel like that's what social media did for you? Has it? Because for me, I post a lot on Instagram because I have so many different accounts and do so many different things. And sometimes I was like really conscious of, like, you know, and I would say this is probably like more in my 20s, where I was conscious of like likes, and, you know, I felt like I needed that sort of approval. And I would like delete stuff sometimes. I didn't feel like it was being looked at. Whereas now I'm in a state of mind where I'm like, actually, that's sort of like my art gallery. I want to look back at that and look at that moment. And so I sort of like have shifted that perspective, because it used to really, really bother me. I think especially in the dance sort of model world, that you sort of look for approval of what you put out there, because a lot of it's to do with like how you look and what you present on camera. So how do you feel like it has sort of like helped you develop your work? Like, do you see it as like an art platform? Does it help you in business?
I would say for me, it definitely helped with me expressing myself and expressing myself through my fashion and my clothing.
So if you guys follow Sayf on Instagram and follow him, it is like a fashion gallery. It's so colourful. Every outfit's like so unique. Like, I know when I was picking the picture for this poster, I was like, which one do I go for? Like, everything's so different, unique.
I mean, how I express myself through my clothes means a lot to me, and I'm really inspired by bright and loud colours, and maybe that's because I was brought up in this town, which is quite dull, quite grey, and colour.
And it's a shame that you know, you felt like you needed to come out of a place like Accrington to find yourselves, and there's so many of us who've all felt like that. Like, I don't currently live in Accrington, I work here, but I feel like, you know, we've had to sort of pioneer the creativity and colour of bringing
Yeah,
something to this town, and it needs it, and it needs more people to do that, because I think
definitely.
there's been quite a few people now who feel like they've had to come out of this town to find themselves.
Definitely.
You know, and I think even more reason to have been brought up in a town like this, because would you have spread your wings and gone further afar if you weren't brought up in Accrington? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it sort of pushes you more to go and find.
Absolutely.
more
And
of
do you know
yourself.
what? Maybe this is what my life was supposed to be like.
Oh yeah.
No, maybe we should
yeah.
let's change the language.
No, go on.
This was my life journey.
Yeah.
Life, you know, at the end of the day, my grandparents moved here
Yeah.
from Italy, Jordan and Pakistan
Yeah.
for a better life, and you know, unfortunately it wasn't the life for me. It taught me a lot about myself, but it pushed me to spread my wings.
Yeah, but I really believe in, you know, where you said like change the language and stuff. I do believe that things are supposed to happen in the way that they happen. You know what I mean? Because I felt like it was really interesting what you said earlier about the trauma, and it's something we've both looked at this year. So this just feels like such a connection doing this today. But we were talking about sort of childhood trauma and how you utilize that in two different ways. Like, could you just tell us what we were talking about earlier about those two different ways in which you can use it?
Absolutely. You know, I love this topic. The T
Yeah.
word
Yeah,
trauma.
you know, and it's something, whether it's a small trauma or a big trauma, one trauma or 10, every single human has experienced some sort of trauma.
Absolutely. So for me, I've gone through a lot of trauma in my life. However, I do believe there are two paths that you can go down. The first path is you continue to allow away in that trauma. I'll rephrase that.
Yeah.
So the first path is you can continue to consume the trauma and project it out onto everyone around you and be like, well, I've gone through this. This is why I'm like this. This is why I'm so miserable. Oops. With trauma.
Just needed a moment there,
Yeah.
just a quick moment. Yeah.
With trauma, there are two paths you can go down. You can either let it consume you, where you're projecting on everyone and you don't develop yourself. You don't do anything to
you
to
sort
work
of let
on
it hold you back.
Yeah.
You let it be the reason you don't do things. Yeah.
Exactly. Or you can take that trauma and spin it. So I used my trauma and turned it into something positive and was like, look, you've gone through this, but you don't want to be that terrible person, Sayf. Use that trauma and, you know, turn it around. Go and do what you want to, go and do what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
You know, be this amazing person that you want to be, Sayf. Don't treat other people terribly.
Yeah.
Make these amazing connections. Live a beautiful life, but do not let the trauma hold you back.
Yeah.
And that is one thing. We all go through trauma, but it's how you deal with it. Because you don't want to project it out into the wider world.
Yeah. And you see that a lot, you know, and sometimes people don't know that they're actually doing that, you know, hence why we're here at this podcast. But it's being able to utilise your trauma to give you more of a positive life, you know, see that it happened for you and not to you. I think it's like learning not to let it victimise you is probably a big thing.
Absolutely. And with the right help, with the right support, and this is it, community, as we discussed earlier, is incredibly important, because when you've got a good community, they will help you get through it. And I know, like, my friends help me with that too. So something that I'm very passionate about, because if I took the first path of letting it consume me and projecting it out onto other people, I'd have no friends. I probably wouldn't have achieved everything that I've achieved right now. And I just would have been a terrible person. You don't want to be that person. Like, I understand that the energy that you project out there can be the energy that you will receive. So if I'm going out projecting all of this trauma on everyone else, it's going to weigh everyone else down, and people aren't going to want to associate myself with me, and that's just not me at all. So I know that we're both passionate about this, aren't we? And that
and it is so important, and I think that is like a key to life that maybe needs talking about more is putting yourself in the right environments and places where you can actually thrive. So if it feels good, do more of that. But if it's not feeling good, then you need to be pulling yourself out of that environment and away from those people. And like you said, sometimes that's not a safe thing to do at the time. No pun intended.
I love it when people make come down my name. I love it.
But you know, sometimes, you know, people feel trapped in that situation stuff, and I feel like this is exactly what you've done here, and it's so inspiring because I know from experience this is not easy to do. If you know that there's hope and that there is a different way of life, even if you're in that situation at the time and you feel like it's impossible, still having that little glimpse of hope and making really small steps towards it. It may not be like a big giant leap, and I think sometimes as humans we look for that. We look for like this big moment where everything's just going to fall into place, and sometimes it just needs tiny little steps towards that. So like your 15-year-old self making that decision to do that one thing that you really wanted to do at school, that was making that first step. You put out there, no, okay, I might be going through this right now, I'm still going to make sure I do this for myself, because had you not done that, I feel like things would have been really different, or you would have had to face that same decision and situation later in life. But like, big up to you for doing that, because I know that's not easy. Like, it took me a long time to really sit in becoming a dancer and making that decision without worrying about how it would reflect everywhere else. And so I'm really curious, being, you know, the same age as you and making decisions like that, it almost felt like you had just like a little bit more boldness and bravery. Like, I felt like I was bold and brave, but I was still very conscious of the knock-on effect it would have on everything. What is it inside yourself that helped you like stay strong in that decision and be able to do that for yourself? Like, I know obviously we spoke about your grandma a lot, and she seems to have been like such a big role model, if not the biggest role model for you growing up. Is it that, like, what? I feel like there's something inside that's made you just go, like, that's gone, no, I deserve this, because that's sort of the decision maker. Sometimes turn around and we feel guilty for that, and we go, no, I'm going to really affect everybody else right now, and we start to sit in that guilt and shame state. But I feel like you've managed to push past that, and that's so important for a community in town that we've come from. What's helped you get past that? I know I've asked you a really difficult question now.
No, I love it. I love these questions, are important. So for me, I don't know what it was. There was something in me that said, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. And I don't know what it was. I think maybe because I knew I could feel that there was an amazing life out there for me.
Yeah.
I just pushed myself.
Yeah.
And I did it. So there was something in me that was like, no, you're not giving up, you're not giving up.
Yeah.
You're going to achieve the best that you can achieve. And I was always quite excited to step up. So throughout education, getting my GCSEs, getting my A-levels, getting the foundation diploma.
What helped you get that sort of mindset? I'm so curious
I think
about
Accrington,
that.
maybe Accrington, because I was like, right, one of my goals is to move out of here and build this amazing life for myself.
That's sort of giving you the push.
Yeah, so the town must have been Accrington, because I knew that it was never the place for someone like me.
So you wasn't prepared to settle it. Yeah, I feel
that's
like
it. I think that's it. And you know, I achieved that. And when I say I achieved that, I don't want it to sound like my life is over, because of course I've still got a long way to go.
And I feel like it's always an endless journey of different things. It's just different lessons at different times.
Definitely. So I got my degree, and then I got a job at the model agency that I work at. I'm not a model, guys, please.
No, guys, agree, disagree. Like, I definitely thought you was.
Thank you, that's flattering.
I think you should be modelling, just putting it out there. Hiring.
She's amazing. Honestly, we're meant to be besties, all. We're definitely,
We just click.
Yeah, we just click. So I work for a model agency now. After I graduated, I wanted to get a job in the industry, maybe as, I don't know, in social media or something like that, maybe. But I ended up getting a job at the model agency, which, I love. I'm front of house, so I welcome models in. but then I also help place models in other countries and vice versa.
Cool.
I've done a bit of social media at the age. I've done a bit of everything at the agency, and you know, the agency have really seen me. It's really helped me grow professionally.
Yeah.
And who would have thought 15-year-old Sayf, you know, getting a fashion degree and working in the industry, working for a model agency.
Got goosebumps everywhere when you said that. It's so lovely.
Oh, honestly, I'm so proud. I'm really proud.
You should be.
And you know, it just goes to show, regardless of your identity, you can, you know, if you fight through, if you surround yourself with the right people, you can achieve the best that you want to achieve. Please never let it hold you back. I never let it hold me back. And you know, especially I'd love for this to go out to people that are of a similar identity of me, you know, people that I'm mixed. So yeah, I've got a mixed ethnicity, you know, I'm gay, I've got, you know, an unconventional gender expression, if you want to call it that, being neurodivergent too. So there's a lot here, but I never let it hold me, I didn't let it hold me back.
Yeah. And
I was like, listen, Sayf, you can do it, you can achieve the best that you can achieve. And you know, go out there and own it. And I think another thing growing up, because I do come from a mixed background, I was always inspired. I always questioned things. And I think this is where my autism comes into this. So I'm like, why am I here? Why did my grandparents move here?
Yeah.
What are their cultures like? What is the wider world like? And this is why...
But I love that. Because isn't that the journey we're on? Where I feel like it's great to question stuff like that and learn more about it. It helps you understand why things may have happened the way that they did and why you are where you are. Do you know what I mean? The things that you had to overcome.
Do you know what I used to love back at school? I used to love it when the teacher would stop the class and talk about the life story.
Oh,
I'd be so fascinated because
one, you wouldn't have to do your work for ages.
Yeah.
And two, I felt like in some ways I learnt more from that sometimes than the actual subject itself.
Exactly, because I'd be like, I'd just be questioning things like, what did you do at uni? How long does it take you to commute into school? And when I see a person, I don't just see that.
Like just
I don't
outside,
just see that. I want to know more about them, and I think that's what. I'm a very open person. I want someone to have a deep chat with me, talk to me about your trauma, talk to me about everything. Come on.
Let's get in there.
And this is why I think I'm a people person. I'm definitely an extrovert. I love people. People fascinate me. And
but I feel like you bring this vibrance to people and you make them feel like they want to tell you like their stories.
Please do. Yeah. But no,
So you're good.
No, I would say I'm really proud, and I want everyone who's watching this to know that if I can do it, throughout all my obstacles, you can do it too.
And you know, it's so weird you said that because you said something earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt at the time. But I did read somewhere. I've been doing like so much reading this year, and something that always stuck in my mind is, if someone else can achieve it and you can watch someone else do it, that means it's possible. That should give people that hope. I think sometimes people get like imposter syndrome, or they feel like, oh, that person's got that, but I've not got there and I'm nowhere near that. If someone's achieved it, that means they made it possible, and it's possible for somebody else to do it as well. Sure. I always feel like that's important, because I think sometimes when you push through things like this, and you know, like you say on social media, people don't see the hardships that you go through. You know, people get a very different impression of how you may have got there and how easy it is, and it's not. You know, I feel like, especially with artists, we have had to alchemize and go through so much to be able to get there. So, you know, just for that hope out there to people, that if, you know, someone's been able to achieve something that, you know, you want to do, just to know that it is possible. It's not impossible for you. Not to like give up and lose hope that you won't get there.
Absolutely, and I think it is important that people like us exist, you know, to exist. That sounds very deep, doesn't it? People like us exist because obviously we're both very unconventional people, especially, you know, people that are of our ethnicity, to, you know, being Pakistani. It's good to have that representation to inspire other people, because there might be...
There's so much more outside the bubble, and you know, there's getting burst left, right and centre by so many different people.
Exactly,
There's more. There's definitely so much more.
Exactly, and you know, basically, I don't want anyone to feel suppressed. I want people to go out there You two.
100%,
And, you know,
yeah.
live the best lives, live their true, authentic lives, because I was talking to you about this. One of my biggest fears in life is regret. I do not want to look back on my life and be like, oh, I should have done this.
I should have done this. I wish I'd done that. Do it.
Yeah. Just do it.
Even if you're going to fail with it, at least you know you tried to do it.
Be true to yourself and live the passion. Live your passions.
I feel like that's like quote of this podcast.
Yeah.
Safe in 5 years' time.
Oh, safe in 5 years' time.
You'll be in your 30s.
Yes, I will.
30s,
30 flirting private.
Yeah.
I'm
but
28.
30s is amazing, I'll just let you know. Like, I would actually not go back to my 20s now. I would start at 30.
Yeah.
Onwards, personally.
I mean, still young, still youthful. I don't, you know, we still got our... Sorry, I'll start again. One sec. I'm 28. I always write it ATE, she ate, they ate. You know what I mean? 28. You should have seen my birthday cake. It was that, 28.
I think I saw it. Yeah, it was
iconic.
It's very bougie.
You know, I am in my late 20s, and I feel like people have this panic, like, oh, I need to get life, you know, I need to get myself together.
We start rushing towards like.
But at the end of the day, you know, we're still young, we're still youthful, we've still got our whole lives ahead of us. You know, I don't subscribe to that, oh, I'm so old, I'm so this, my life's over. No, my life, I still feel young, I still feel youthful, I've still got my whole life ahead of me.
Who's calling that shit? Who?